Hi, thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome to On the Inside with J. Wright Middleton. I am your host, Janelle. Here we entertain, inspire, enlighten, and transform. Today I have a wonderful show for you. I am excited. That's why I'm smiling so big. I have some great guests with me. My guest is an author, a two-time author. She is also a minister, and she is also the founder of a wonderful ministry, Empowered Women Ministries. So please join me in welcoming my guest, Alishia Lewis Potter.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
excited
for
to be
being
here
with us today. It's so wonderful for you to be with me today. I'm excited because you have a great, not just event, but you have a great story. We've met before in the past. What I wanted to ask you right now is, how did you get into everything that you're doing? The books, the workshops, the ministries, everything. How did all of that start for you?
Wow. Life. Life, Janelle. I always say to people that, if I had it my way, I'd be the dean of some prestigious university, and I had my life dream, but God had his own plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so, in 2000, I was married. I was pregnant with my youngest child, and my oldest was still a baby on my hip. I had one in the belly, one on my hip.
Okay.
And I began the devastating journey of going through a divorce at the time. I was very young, 26 years old, and again, devastated. I was 8 hours away from family. I had no family where I was.
Wow.
And I just, my life began to really unravel, Janelle, right before my eyes. I went from having a very successful career as a teacher to being unemployed because I was going through some health challenges with the pregnancy. And to make a very long story as short as I possibly can, I say that, my life just kind of fell apart piece by piece. And I was trying to hold it together as a mother, hold it together as a Christian woman,
Which
as
we
someone,
do so wonderfully.
yeah, just keep the mask on and hide my pain behind the mask. But I was so very broken. I attached my pain to my self-worth and what I was going through, and so I had become homeless in the process of this journey. And so I started to journal when I was pregnant with my youngest. I started to journal. And as God began to progress my life forward, and I began to heal and pick up the pieces of my life by going back to school and just doing different things to improve my life, counseling, different things that I knew would help me get better emotionally. I was sitting in a conference one year, 2006, and the bishop said at this conference, 6 is the number of man. And God is saying, whatever it is you're going to do in this year, finish it. Get it done and finish it. And I heard a voice say to me, finish the book and publish it. And I said, what book?
At the time, you hadn't started writing yet.
It was the journal. It was the journal. I was journaling. I tell people I was trying to make sense of the chaos of my life.
That's amazing.
The journal became Woman Will Thou Be Made Whole, Healing from the Wounds of Divorce, and it was published in 2007.
Exciting.
And from that experience, there was a passion in me to minister, to create, rather, some environment where there was safety for women traveling through the divorce process as Christians, and Christian or not, but I knew that as a Christian woman, the belief system was different, although I had found myself in this situation and there was no way out of it from my perspective, although I had tried. And so I just wanted to create a space for healing. So Empowered Women Ministries was birthed in 2007 with the goal of creating a space for women to heal that were transitioning from marriage to divorce, and to create a different space for single women who desire marriage, or they're single and they've been in cycles of unhealthy relationships, to create a space where we are empowering them to embrace their singleness, to find their purpose, and know that you're not single just to be married.
Right.
Because if you
Jesus
keep your life that
with
way,
that.
then you will fall into any relationship. You will be a magnet for unhealthy relationships if you do not tap into your brokenness and really find some healing. So we had one group called Single Sisters Empowered to Live, live meaning love, invest, venture, and excel.
Okay.
It started as a book club.
Say that again. Live meaning
Love, invest,
venture,
and excel.
And excel.
And so that was inspired by a single friend of mine, Stacy.
Nice.
And Stacy was just one of those single women that was always doing stuff. She's always going on a trip alone, always going on a cruise by herself. She plans her own birthday gatherings. And you know, when you're single, some single women, they're waiting for someone to come along and do that for them. And she was living out her life. And I wanted that so much. And so she helped me to start the book club. And so fast forward many years later, here Empowered Women Ministries is still in the community. We have expanded our reach to support, well, it's classified as support groups, but
now,
I call them
want to cut you off right
groups.
here. I want to jump in right here.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Before you tell me that, the reason I asked you about how you got started and everything, because women sometimes we look at the finished product of someone and it seems so far away.
That's right.
It seems like I can never get there, or
That's right.
you know, how does she do it? And sometimes as women we don't share the steps and the details of how we got from A to B.
Yeah, that's right.
And how the finished product that you see is really still a process happening.
Absolutely.
But I've just overcome
Yeah.
so much. So
That's
I
right.
wanted to say that, to applaud you for pulling yourself up, hearing God, allowing him to move through you and taking the step, because it took a step of courage to even say, God, I'm going to listen and I'm going to do, really not knowing it would turn into what we are going to talk about today. And it's so wonderful for single women to know that, because a lot, like you said, a lot of single women wait for it to happen from somewhere, someone else.
Yeah.
And you can make it happen.
You can. And one day I was just laying on the side of my bed and I heard God say to me that if you want your life to happen, you have to show up for it. Show up for your life because you participate in the process of your destiny.
Yeah, that's good. So here we are, 2 books later, a ministry, workshops, radio.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Radio.
Sleep, eat, in between a little bit of that. Parenting teenagers, married,
Yes, all of that. We have what we are talking about today, which I feel like is a phenomenal event. If you can see this flyer here, this 5th annual Empowered Women of the Year ceremony. You got that? Great. So I want to talk about your heart for this, and then we're going to talk to our awesome guest, Miss Rita Bell, also. But what made you do this? What made you want to honor these women, or any woman for that matter?
Life. Life. Yeah, so what happened when Empowered Women Ministries was established? I wrote out a vision based on inspiration from God. And having an awards ceremony was inspired by an experience that I had in 2008.
Okay.
I was sitting at my desk at work, and one of my pastor friends, Pastor Constance Johnson, called me. She said, "Girl, where you been? I've been trying to call you. I'm trying to nominate you for this award. I need to put it in tonight." And I said, "What award? What are you talking about?" When you're living life and you're processing through pain, and you're overcoming, you don't feel like what people are seeing is noteworthy. You know,
because you're just living. You're just trying to get to the next
really
step
just trying
of
to
your
make
journey. Yeah.
So I thought, okay. So I gave her my information. The award was called the Ascended Woman Award.
Okay.
It could not have been any closer to my life story than ever. The award was sponsored by the Christian Sisters organization based out of Annapolis, Maryland. LaWanda Herod, God bless her heart. So my pastor went with me. I don't have any family, you know, here where I live. My pastor went with me, and I was still, the whole thing was just very like somebody pinch me, you know, but just how they describe the Ascended Woman Award, a woman who has ascended to a place, and I can't really remember the specific definition of it, but I knew that it fit my life.
How did you feel about it?
How did I feel? I felt God loving on me in that moment. I felt God loving on me and saying, well done, my good and faithful servant. This is how I feel about how you've overcome. And so, Janelle, I wanted to give that feeling back.
Yes, that's
to
why
other
I
women.
asked. Because when we experience something so empowering and uplifting,
Yes.
we want to give it out. We want someone
Absolutely.
else. So you know what it's like to
Yes.
call these women and say, you've been chosen
Oh my
to be
goodness.
honored for your everyday life.
That's right. It's the most impactful part of our ministry. I want to also say that every category that is represented under this award ceremony is every milestone that God allowed me, and I give him the credit, to achieve as I was processing through my pain to my purpose.
Wow.
Every category you see on there.
Wow.
So the Empowered Women of the Year Awards ceremony honors single mothers that have risen above adversity and have excelled in areas of educational advancement, entrepreneurial success, career success, and first-time homeownership. And then we have a specialty category for someone who's persevered through a life and death situation and has empowered her community.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the beautiful Miss Rita Bell over here. Thank you for coming to hang out with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Now, Miss Bell, I see your face on this flyer.
Yes, she looks beautiful.
Yes, she does. To be honored for career success as a single mom. What does that mean to you?
Oh my gosh, it means everything. I'm a single mother of 3 children, and to allow my children to be here to see me reach my goal, it's amazing. They've been with me on the journey from starting college and taking them to class with me to being pregnant and taking the one to class. And I was sharing with Alishia earlier, you know, one of my instructors came up to the hospital after I gave birth to make sure that I didn't get a 0 for a class.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
you know, they were at my associate's graduation, they were at my bachelor's graduation, and, you know, they have struggled with me. They were there during the struggle. They are my encouragement, they're my motivation. And for me to actually reach a point of success as working in my field of what I went to college for,
Which is?
human resource management.
Okay.
It's everything.
Wow. How amazing was it for you to have the support that you had at a time where sometimes people can look at a single mom with children and say, well, you know, she just has to deal with whatever comes. How did that feel? What did that do for you to have that type of support? Because I've never heard of an instructor coming up to make sure you don't fail class.
It was challenging. It really was. I didn't have a whole bunch of support. As you heard me say, I had to bring my daughter to class with me, and the teacher wound up, one day I couldn't make a class, and I told her, I said, I don't have a sitter. I can't make the class. She said, well, you can't miss this test. How old is your baby? I said, she's not even 1. She said, feed her real good and bring her.
Wow. That's good.
And I brought her, and she watched her during the exam.
Wow.
And, you know, that was the avenue for me to say, for me to understand that, you know, there are people out there that are willing to help you. You have to open up your mouth to ask.
Now, how did you get nominated for this? How did your name even get thrown into the pot to be a part of this wonderful event?
So I came home from work one day, and I finally decided to check my mail. And the letter might have been dated early December. I think I got it.
Wait, you
late
said
December.
you finally decided?
Finally decided to check my mail.
Sounds like me.
And I got it, and I'm going through, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And the Lord said, open it.
Wow.
And I was already having a day. So I sat down, I opened it, and I'm like, what is this? Empowered women, they want money.
Right.
Like, and I seen, so I'm glancing through it, and I see a name, and it was my supervisor, Jamie Boone. I said, well, hold on, wait a minute, let me actually read this. And I read it, and it said I was nominated, and I just started crying.
Wow.
I was like, wow, I was nominated? I don't even know what I'm nominated for, and I'm crying. And I read the letter, and I was like, wow. So I called her. I was like, Jamie, you know, thank you so much. And I left a long, drawn-out message on her answer machine, and I'm jumping around. My kids said, I was nominated. I'm nominated. Still didn't understand what I was nominated for.
I love it.
But I mean, that was my victory for the day.
Right.
And I took a picture of it. I told my mom, I said, Mom, look, I'm nominated for something. I circled the word nominated. So I'm excited and I'm sharing. And then I sat down and I really read it and I started looking it up and Googling it. And I'm like, oh, this is serious.
Wow. So you didn't even know that you were being
I didn't know
watched
anything
or
about
looked
it.
at, or is something to be nominated for something says what people are thinking of you.
Yeah.
So the person that nominated you apparently saw the beauty, the jewel, the fight, the tenacity, the victory that you were just living day to day. But they saw you and said, she's worthy of this. That's got to be
That feeling
phenomenal.
is, you hear single mom this, single parents
Right.
this, and
Right.
to me it's just regular. My oldest child is 14. I've been, raising her by myself for 14 years. So it's everyday life. You just keep it moving. But for somebody on the outside looking in, they're like, wow. And I just lived my life. You do what you have to do to take care of your family. And didn't realize that so many people were watching.
Yeah. And your daughter, your daughter, you are showing her, you're showing them, all three of them, that they can make it no matter what. And that is so important to our children, especially our girls, for them to see that life may happen, but you can still live and live successfully.
And do you mind if I just add something that she said just made me think about really why this is so important to us as an organization. It's important to us to really bring the community together and highlight the accomplishments of single mothers such as Rita and the other women, but also the contributions of single parent households, that they are contributing to their community and the economy. I think that there is a stigma to single parent households, and we just want to reverse that. I think it's important.
That is so good. Now, how did you decide who you and how you would choose? Because I'm sure you got quite a few
Yes.
nominations in.
Yeah.
How did you decide, okay, we'll choose this one, we'll choose that one?
Yeah.
What was your process?
Definitely over the years it has evolved to a different type of process from just watching people and saying, ooh, that would be, yeah, we definitely need to, sometimes it's just this like unction you get in your belly like, oh, it's her. To the point where we had to create a nomination process. And so we have a nomination process whereby we invite the community. We really want the community to take ownership of this.
Okay.
You know who has had an impact on your local community more than we do. So we invite the community to send in nominations. We normally do that around the summer.
Okay.
And then as the nominations come in, we have a selection committee that is comprised of, community leaders, pastors, other women, men also on the committee. We don't discriminate.
Okay. Brothers, you have a voice.
Yes, they do. Some of them were raised by single moms.
Right.
So it's important to us that the community, the committee, the selection committee is diverse. So they come in and I send them directly to the selection committee. I was telling before we came on live air that some of the nominations that came in this go around, I peeked a little bit at some of them and I felt like tears welling up in my eyelids, and I was like, okay, forward, clicking the forward button, because I would just choose every single one that came in. But it is competitive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so
So
phenomenal.
the nomination form is submitted, and then the selection committee actually has kind of like a ranking that they do.
Do you make the phone calls to let people know that?
I do not. We
Okay.
have a
send the letters
another
out.
committee, and so there is a designated person on that committee
Okay.
that reaches out to the honorees, and so she gets the fun part because she
Okay.
gets to call and hear the screaming and the phone dropping, because sometimes she'll call and they haven't opened the letter yet.
Wow.
Or sometimes and this is our first year putting the name of the person who nominated them in the
Okay.
letter. We usually
Okay.
do not do that.
Really?
So it's a complete guessing game until we call and they're like, who nominated me?
Right.
So yeah, that's a pretty fun, significant part. I come in when they get their photo shoot. and I get to meet them, and they're all glammed up and a little nervous because we also do a video promotional the day of their photo shoot. We want them really to feel, see, you are God's beautiful queen from the inside out, and God gave that to me in my journey. And so we want them to actually feel his love from the beginning to the end. So we actually sponsor a photo shoot. Well, I can't say we have some great sponsors. Ralph Reynolds, I just have to throw his name out there. He's a great photographer. And so we have other companies that step up and sponsor and donate their time and their service to make sure that, you know, the women feel loved and feel celebrated from beginning to end.
And Ms. Rita, do you feel loved and celebrated?
Yes, I do. I really do. When I went to do the photo shoot, I met a couple of the other honorees, and they're just amazing women. And it's like God couldn't have orchestrated it any better than he did, because we all got along. We were in there laughing and joking. By the time we left, it's like, okay, well, I'll see you during the award ceremony. And, you know, it's like we were friends, but we all have that commonality between us. You know, the common denominators, we were all single mothers who have, one, been nominated for this award, but two, have, you know, achieved and overcome some type of adversity in our life.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And that empowers you to be able to give that to another single mom. I'm so excited because I was raised by a single mother.
Yeah,
and
me too.
As the daughter of a single, do you have daughters or sons?
I have one daughter, one son.
Okay. So being the daughter of a single mom, you know, you look at her.
You really do.
And she sets the precedence for your choices, for your likes and dislikes, for your relationships, for everything that you become until you just begin to make your own. You know, she sets the precedence. So to be a woman, one honored and one honoring other women, is so powerful, because you're showing your daughter that you can love yourself enough to love somebody else.
That's awesome.
And you are showing your daughter that you can love yourself enough to make your life better. You don't have to let life beat you down. And that is so amazing to me. And I'm not going to cry. That is so, that I applaud both of you, because as women, we need that so much. We need to know that there's another woman here who sincerely has my back, to the point that she wants to see me do well and excel in everything that God has given me. And that's what your event, and the Empowered Women of the Year, the award ceremony, that's what it says to me.
Yes.
That's what it says, I think, to these women who are a part of this event. I'm going to put this flyer here again. I hope you can see it. And you'll be able to go to the website that'll be on the screen and get more information and be a part of this event. What else do you want us to know about this? I'm going to give you this time.
Certainly.
Because I know there's something else that you, because I'll just go on talking, because this is so phenomenal to me.
Again, just the remarkable stories that these women have. There are people that come to the event that never met me, never met these ladies. They just heard about it. They heard about why we do it, and they're inspired, and they come to be inspired. We have a phenomenal keynote speaker that speaks each year, and we're always careful how we choose the speaker. This year we have Choi Farmer from Empowerment That Values All. She's powerful. When she opens her mouth, you don't forget what she says.
That's so
just
good.
lifelong words that she puts on your heart. We have entertainment, live entertainment, and it is one of our biggest fundraisers. We just started a scholarship for single mothers or students of single mothers.
I love that.
Yes, who are pursuing post-secondary education in the disciplines of business, healthcare, religious studies, or human services. And so this really goes to a good cause when you're coming to support these ladies, but also to support the cause as well.
What's the date?
So the date is Saturday, April the 16th. It is going to be at the Sheraton Wilmington South Hotel, and it is at 5 p.m. It is kind of like Grammys and Oscar feel. We have red carpet, so bring your date. I'm telling you, we had more men attend last year's ceremony.
Really?
And they're coming back. Like my son's barber texted me the other day. I'm like, did you want to like advertise in the booklet? He's like, I want a ticket. What do you mean advertise? I want to come. I said, okay, great. So absolutely.
I want to read off the names of the women that are being honored, if that's okay with you. We have Miss Dale Broom, Rita Bell. We have Monet Camper, Samira Williams, and Natasha Sims and Ebony Canyon. Is that it? Ebony Canyon. I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to applaud you ladies and say congratulations
Yes.
to you for
Awesome.
being honored at this 5th annual Empowered Women of the Year Awards ceremony dinner. That's going to be Saturday, April 16th at 5 p.m. And again, go to the website on your screen for me, please. I want to thank you so
you.
much for coming. Every time I look at you, I just want to cry because of the accomplishment and because of not giving up. And you just keep allowing God to do what he's doing in your life because he's not done. The tender heart that you have, he's going to use that for his glory. And you're going to encourage a lot of women. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Miss
having me.
Alishia, you are beautiful. Thank you for being
Thank
with
you,
us.
Miss J.
Love you, love you.
Love you right
Thank
back.
you.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I am full. This is On the Inside with your host, J. Wright Middleton, where we inspire, transform, enlighten, and entertain. God bless you, and I love you.